Hi guys, today's video is about Amsterdam and specifically a neighborhood called the Jordaan. This is arguably the most famous spot in the whole city, if not the country. It used to be a working class neighborhood and has since become one of the most upscale locations in the Netherlands. One theory about the name Jordaan comes from the French word jardin, which means garden. And a lot of the streets and canals in this area are named after trees and flowers. There's another theory that the main canal called the Prinsengracht was once named Jordaan, which is the Dutch name for the River Jordan. Rembrandt spent the last years of his life in the Jordaan, and he's buried in the Westerkerk, which is a church just beyond the borders of this gorgeous neighborhood. Right across from the church is the Anne Frank house, where Anne Frank and her family lived in hiding for more than 2 years during the Nazi occupation of Holland. The building was established as a historical landmark in 1957, and it's where Anne Frank wrote her esteemed memoir, The Diary of a Young Girl. Like many people, I read Anne's diary at a young age, about the age she was when she wrote it, and it has really stayed with me. And to be honest, this was the one place in Amsterdam that I couldn't leave without seeing and paying respect. You can't film inside the building, but I can tell you that when you go through, you're given a headset, which not only keeps people moving through the often very cramped space, but it also keeps it importantly silent. You can see her room and some of the postcards and cutouts of her favorite movie stars on the wall. Her father brought them for her to decorate her space with. Of the 8 people who lived in hiding there, only her father, Otto Frank, survived. This is a very busy place, so make sure you buy tickets online in advance, which you can do up to 2 months ahead. I think as a human being alive in this world, it's a place that you just need to go. Very close by to the Anne Frank house is an area that's a little micro-neighborhood within the Jordaan called the Little 9 Streets, and it is just as cute and charming as you imagine. The 9 little streets are actually 3 streets that cross 2 canals, the Herengracht and the Keizersgracht, and that makes them into 9 little streets. The names of the Little 9 Streets refer to the old skin tanning industry, and if you look at the street signs, you'll notice Skin, Deer, Bears, and Wolves Street. You'll find lots of little restaurants and shops, and one of the places I'd recommend checking out is a sneaker store called No Boys Allowed. The reason it's unique is given away by its name. It's a store that stocks sneakers only in women's sizes, and you should visit there if you want some nice shoes that not every girl will have, because they sell limited quantities and they get exclusive releases from brands like Nike, Adidas, and Puma. One of my favorite places in the Jordaan is called the Mouse Mansion, and this is a place that I walked by when it was closed, and I got a peek inside one of the most charming window displays I've ever seen, and I specifically went back during opening hours so that I could go inside and figure out what this place was all about. I found out that it's a family business run by a mom and her 4 adult children, and one of her daughters was in the shop at the time, so I got to chat with her all about it. They write stories about mouse characters, build sets and environments for the stories, and then photograph them for books and also make them into videos. And they sell those books along with merchandise and toys all over the world. The sets are like a giant dollhouse and every single detail is accounted for. It's honestly just so sweet and the type of book you wish you could gift every child in the world with. I loved everything about it. It's a family business and they spend sometimes years working on the sets, and they're always creating new stories for their world of mouse characters. Another of my highlights from this neighborhood is a cafe called De Vergulde Gapper. I hope I am saying that properly. It's a cafe located in an old pharmacy or drugstore on a corner across from the canal. I have this fantastic memory of sitting there because it was the first place I went after arriving in Amsterdam for my very first time. Mark and I sat there and ordered a coffee and just enjoyed the view. We had arrived by train and exited the station with absolutely no idea where we were going, and we just stumbled across this area, which we now know is the Jordaan, and just had to sit down and enjoy a coffee to just soak it all in. And while this is a lovely place to sit, I don't mean you have to sit at this cafe necessarily, but more I just want to suggest that you find a place to park yourself somewhere in the Jordaan and just enjoy the views that make Amsterdam's Canal Ring such a totally unique place in the world. The The Jordaan is the perfect place in Amsterdam to just sit down and soak it all in, which I absolutely loved doing, and I hope that you also enjoyed seeing this neighborhood. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. These were my highlights, but I'd love to know if any of this struck your particular fancy as well, if it's a place that you would like to visit. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already for more travel videos, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!